Get in my belly.
Big girl. Come here, big girl. I feel you. Oh.
Get in my belly. Woo! Barely hooked.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to White Whale Fishing. Hey, I'm coming to you guys today talking about one of my favorite things to do in the summer. It's probably my #1 summer confidence bait, and that's fishing hollow body frogs. It's a hollow body, hollow belly. I always mix it up with swim baits. I don't know, and I really don't care. But I really wanted to bring this video to you guys because I think that this topic is a love-hate relationship. Either you love it because you're confident in it, or you hate it because you're not confident in it. And I was one of those guys just a few years ago that I had zero confidence in it, and I wanted to be better at it because I love fishing top water. So in 2019, I set a goal, and that was going to be to learn how to fish a hollow body frog and to get good at it. And now it's my #1 summer confidence bait. You can do this. You just have to experiment. All I did was get myself a good rod, start buying some different frogs, watching videos, and applying what I saw and what I read and what I learned. And does it work? Does it not work? Does it work? Does it not work? You know, to the point where your frog box looks like this, and every single time you get on Tackle Warehouse, you're looking at hollow body frogs. So come with me, jump on in, let's take a look at what you can do to maybe become a better frog fisherman. Does brand of frog matter? Yes and no. Let me put it to you this way. This is a lunker hunt frog. This is a Jackall Gavacho frog. These frogs, excuse me, these frogs do not perform the same when you cast them out. There's plenty of good frogs out there. Is Jackall better than SPRO? Is Savage Gear better than Strike King? No, they all perform pretty good. There's tons of really, really good frogs on the market. Booyah, the Booyah Pad Crasher. I've got one of them. I've never even fished it, but people are talking about it all over the place. Get a good frog that you can learn to walk, focus on your mechanics, focus on how you want to fish that frog. Do you want to walk it? Do you want to skip it? Do you want to pop it? Because there's more than one way to fish a frog. So brand of frog doesn't really matter. There's lots of great brands out there. Pay more attention to learning how to fish a frog, the way that your fish are going to react to it in a color that works well for you in your body of water. So what kind of colors do you need? Well, you want to get a white. You want to get a black, right? Focus on the bottom of the frogs. This is what the bass are going to see. Them bluegill-esque, like an orange belly, or where's the Stanford baits? Kind of like a bone with a little bit of orange on it. I've got bodies of water that are crystal clear with 20 foot of visibility, and then I have bodies of water that have 6 inches of visibility. In lakes and ponds with low visibility and shad or minnows, white works really, really well for me. In other bodies of water with crystal clear water, I need to go with something bluegill-esque or minnow-esque, something like a pattern like that, or even a transparent silver-ish, blue-ish. That works really, really well for me. And then during low light situations, black works really, really well for me. You've got to to hook the fish to get confidence in the bait, plain and simple. So everybody, when they start off, is going to have a hard time hooking the bass. One of the first things that I did that helped me out quite a bit is hooks, right? So if you're looking at this frog, these are basically flipping hooks. And what I did is I took a pair of pliers and I bent these hooks slightly up, just, you know, like a degree or two. We're not talking major, because you want to be able to keep that fish pinned. So you want to bend it just enough so that if your finger runs over the frog like this, your finger is going to catch it a little bit. Now that's not going to help you if you're throwing these into reeds and things, heavy cover that can be very, very snaggable, and where you could potentially get hung up and not be able to get free. That's not going to help you in situations like that. But in order to start gaining confidence, I would highly recommend it, especially if you're fishing on the edges of weed lines or in open water. Just bend them up a little bit from this angle, up just slightly. From this angle, another thing you can do is just bend them out just a little bit, just out. Just open up the gap just a little bit. That way, if you run it from the side, not from the top, but from the side, your fingers will catch. So one of the most important things to talk about are hook set mechanics. When to set the hook, how hard to set the hook, with slack, without slack. And there's a lot of really good information out there. The channel that helped me out the most with this was the BamaBass channel. And I'll link the exact video down below. It came out a little bit more than a year ago. It was kind of perfect timing. But it's really important to understand that every time you see or hear a topwater hit and you've got a frog out there, it doesn't necessarily mean that the bass has that frog in his mouth. Many, many times bass will come up and they think they're attacking a bluegill or a perch or a frog or whatever, and they'll actually hit it to stun it first. And if you go ahead and set that hook without making sure the fish is there, you will pull that bait away from that fish, where maybe they're right below it getting ready to come up for a kill shot. Check it out.
Exploded on it. That's the secret spot.
So what works for me, when I'm walking a frog, I have not a set cadence, but I typically will like walk, 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 pause, walk, walk, pause, walk, 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 pause. Try to figure out what kind of walk they're looking for. Here up in my area, they typically like a walking frog more than a popping or a chugging frog. Or I'm doing it wrong. You know, again, I don't know. I let the fish tell me what they want. But for me, it's typically walk, 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 boom, hit. Walk, 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 walk. He's there. Crank up slack, jack him.
course, you guys don't see this video because I'm running low on batteries. That's a nice one. As a wake bait. I think she wanted it.
So I think gear matters tremendously. This is Old Faithful. This is what's got me through everything. The specifics of what exact reel this is doesn't matter. It casts like a dream. I've got it packed with 50-pound Power Pro. I can cast this 3/4 or 5/8 ounce live target frog to the backing on the reel, right? The rod is a Dobyns Fury 735. It's a mag heavy. It handles up to 1.5 ounce baits. You can throw swim baits on this. You can flip with this. You can do all different kinds of things with this. Rod is a little bit heavy. For me, that works. I'm a big dude. I'm 6'2", 290. You know, I want something that I can feel. When I hook a bass on this in heavy vegetation, I feel like I can pull a Mack truck out of a ditch. I also have a Dobyns 734, which is a heavy action that I use for smaller frogs because I have frogs of this size and then I have frogs of this size. Right? The smaller frogs I have a hard time walking with the 735, so I went down to a 734. I can't tell you how important it is. Very similar to swim bait fishing or big bait fishing. When you hook a fish with a frog and a swim bait, you just want to keep turning the reel, keep turning the handle, grind them to the bank. The more you turn that handle, the less leverage you give them, the less they can turn their head, the less they can shake, the less chance there is of them throwing the hook, spitting the hook, and I can't stress that enough to you. So, the very last thing we're going to talk today is how do I work my frog? Frog mechanics. There's no right answer. What are different ways that you can fish a frog? You can walk it. If it's a walking frog, if it's a popping frog, you can pop it. You can chug it. Outside of that, you can use it as a wake bait, right? You can kind of pulse it under the surface of the water like it's swimming. Once it's on top of vegetation, you can kind of just fish it almost like a jig, right? Where you're just kind of pulling it across the tops of pads and it looks like a frog kind of running and skipping and jumping across pads. So there's lots of different ways that you can fish it. You've just got to let the bass tell you how do they want it. So if you're fishing a frog and it's a frog you've got confidence in, or if you're fishing it for the very first time, you're going to have to experiment. You're going to have to figure out the puzzle. But sometimes that's the best part of fishing. Hey, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot for tuning in to White Whale Fishing. I'm gonna jump out of here because it's like 192 degrees in my garage right now. We're heading into the Indian summer. Really, really excited. Fall's around the corner. The big bait bite is about to kick off and topwater action is about to get even better. If you learned something from this, do me a favor. Drop something down below. Let me know what you learned. If there's something you think that I left out, drop it down below. Let me know, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to learn from you guys just as much as you're trying to learn from me. Thanks a lot for watching White Whale Fishing. Hope you're all being safe out there. Don't go crazy. Get out there, do some fishing, do some catching, and love on those loved ones. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.